I just bought Jackson a skillet.
Should call it Skullet.
Yeah.
Get the Skullet out, honey.
This guy was rocking the best.
Damn. Jack just fucks up every show.
Oh, did we start already?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh, did you play the
recording?
Oh.
No, I haven't played the theme yet. I haven't done the
Sponsors?
sponsors yet. I'm waiting for this picture of a skullet. Oh my good lord. That's a real shot of a real person?
Yeah, there's a place in Germany.
Front half of
I'm doing that.
Yeah, isn't that awesome?
I'm doing that.
Jackson, what do you think?
We're
Oh my God, that is horrendous.
So he has the German kind of like, flair.
Yeah.
Yet he also has
Yeah, it's a
party
great
in the
class.
rear. He has a party in the rear.
Flair in front, party in the rear.
Is that
Wow.
good? Did I do all right with my accent there?
It was good.
I'm working on my John Galloway impression just
you?
for John.
Oh, great. Well, it goes.
No, the way he kind of rasps his voice a little bit when he talks.
And he's a
I
Scot.
haven't.
Yeah.
When I talk to him, I can
think he's
copy it perfectly.
He's from Glasgow, I think.
He's a Scot.
Yeah.
Or is it Irish?
No, Scottish.
Scott. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
don't-
Hey,
sorry.
podcast.
Oh, Jesus.
Before we begin, you guys know what happens now. Gooder Sunglasses, the place for style, function, fit, and value for your eyewear, both on and off the bike. Without Gooder, we'd all be walking around looking like a cross between Lord Voldemort and Dwight Schrute. Please don't fall victim to the douchebag sunglass syndrome. Get to Gooder.com today. Grab about 10 pair for the price of the D-bag brand. And look good no matter what you are doing. Next one, Ambassador Cycling, people. Now an official sponsor of Arrive Packfiller Racing for 2022. Get fit to get fit, people. Being properly set up on the bike is the most critical part of your cycling experience. You want to add watts? Well, get fit properly to your bike. Think you know everything about you're supposed to in terms of getting fit on your bike? Well, you don't. Trust Sam at ambassadorcycling.com. Untapped Maple, people. The home for quick digesting, great tasting, fueling for your ride, all natural. Using the finest maple syrup as the source. Get to untapped.cc. Notice that website, untapped.cc. DC. I'm waiting for Batman to come out. I'm really excited about that. Today, to enjoy the fueling choice of the one and only Ted King. And finally, Scratch Labs, people. Speaking of fuel, you have to drink, right? Well, Scratch Labs has you covered and can make sure you keep going. The best tasting liquid to put into your bottles outside of Belgian Ale. Get to scratchlabs.com today. Let's do this, shall we? I got the sponsors out of the way.
Oh.
Is the theme too loud, Jack?
Really clap.
Too loud? Is that too loud for your fragile ears, Jack?
What?
Asshole says what?
Yep. No, it's sphincter says what?
I know. I'm making it my own.
Oh, you're calling me an
taking
asshole.
it and running it. No, you didn't say what. Oh, I just did. So I'm an asshole.
What?
We knew that.
We are here. We are live, and it is time for another look into the world of the pack filler, you guys. So before continuing, I want to say something. I was having a conversation with some other podcasters the other day. Wink, wink.
You
That's
guys
gonna happen
are in a
soon.
group?
Yeah.
Just like...
Well, just another couple people who do this for a living. And I realized that I might not necessarily... I have a tendency to not talk about this show more often outside of the circle of the show itself. So I was told I was supposed to brag about it a little bit more. So look at your podcast feed, everybody. How many podcasts do you listen to that are truly live? How many are unedited? How many allow you to actually participate in the show as it records? How many have over 300 episodes with some of the biggest names in the sport as guests? How many actually participate in the sports they talk about? Well, okay, some of them do that, right? Some of them do that, but that's us. Since 1999, welcome to the Packfiller Podcast. Let's have some fun talking about bikes, everybody. There, I felt uncomfortable talking about this show that much.
I know you're starting to pit out.
Am I?
Yeah, just kidding.
Good. I looked, though. You made me look. So it's time to meet the panel. If you haven't met them already, welcome to your first episode of the show. Please respond, gentlemen, with the Winter Olympic sport that you enjoy the most. Right? Winter Olympic sport you enjoy the most. And I'm going to judge you if you say a particular sport. I will judge them.
Judge on.
Fuck out of you if you say a particular sport. First of all, his back is back. He's sitting upright and he's not going.
That's right.
Mr. Paul Main, how are you, man?
I'm doing all right.
What's your favorite sport?
Biathlon.
Oh, fuck, you stole
The
mine.
best.
It is the most favorite.
If you've ever cross country skied
Yep.
and never
You
shot a
wanted to
gun,
shot somebody. Yeah, yeah.
And
yeah,
wanted to
you try and shoot.
somebody.
Yeah,
And you're trying to shoot somebody.
yeah. Well, just even the process.
Yeah.
Your heart is just racing,
Yep.
and to be able to train your heart rate to drop down, and you pull the trigger between
Between beats,
beats,
right?
yeah. And they, oh man, they're amazing.
And the penalty
That's
laps.
like
Yeah.
that's like total new tech wave DJ. Bang.
Everybody has a routine. Watch them when they come in. That's the only thing I'm recording in the Olympics. If I
Really?
miss all the other ones, I don't care.
Yeah.
Speed skating, I'll try and watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's and cross country ski.
Yep.
I'll record cross country skiing, but if I miss one, it's like I can pass. I will not miss a biathlon. It's great.
I haven't seen any of them in a long time. Second on the panel, he has tights, so get out of the way.
Yeah.
The guy's going to be outside. Mr. Jackson Bolger, how are you, buddy?
Doing well. I don't really love the Winter Olympics all that much.
I don't think I do either, but that's okay.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of them. Ski racing. That's been like the one that I like to watch.
Alberto Tamba.
Wow, you're
Before
old.
he gets born.
It's crazy dangerous
go
though.
ahead. Yeah.
Like I didn't realize it until we watched it this last weekend. But like cycling, people say is dangerous. Like yeah, it's pretty dangerous. But these guys are going 85 miles an hour, just
Yeah.
hurtling down.
We were
this
watching
hill.
the downhill. Yeah, yeah.
Like you got a helmet, but you
That's
also
it.
have 85 miles an
Spine.
hour behind you. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah. 30 has a strange romantic attachment to fenders. Mr. Jack Broadhead. How are you, buddy?
Love them.
Fender
Good.
fucker.
Fender fucker. I'm gonna put that on. It's not Foo Fighters. It's Fender fucker.
Yeah.
I gotta get a Foo Fighter sticker for my fenders.
Yeah.
But he stole mine.
You can say the
bastard.
same thing.
Oh, you can.
Yeah.
It's not a contest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
No.
biathlon's #1. Absolutely
Yeah.
love it. I talk about it even between Winter Olympics to people. It's the best sport. Besides cycling. If I had to pick, so do you follow? You know this actually Nordic skiing. Jess Diggins. She's won gold medals last couple Olympics in cross country skiing, and she's like really awesome to follow. But yeah, biathlon.
Very closely, potentially a sport that has more dopers than cycling.
Cross country skiing.
Yeah.
No
Oh, yeah.
way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Not sweet little
Not
Jessie
bad.
Diggins.
Not
Well,
ba-
we're
no,
not
not
saying-
bashing
Not
her.
our
No,
girl.
not bashing
No,
her.
but for
I'm saying the
history.
sport
Yeah.
notoriously
Yeah.
is known for
Yeah.
it as much
Just all
as
the
cycling.
Russians.
Well, yeah. Well, they're pretty similar, cycling and
Yeah.
cross country. That you got to be endurance and
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know.
that little 1% is
Yeah,
going to make
Yeah,
the
it
Yep.
matters.
Yeah.
1% matters.
Me, I am. My introduction. I am weight obsessed, but I'm not bike weight obsessed. So I'm Pat Bolger, and mine is just like Jackson. Because downhill skiing was my first sport. That was what got me into cycling. Was ski racing. I was a
Budding.
chubby ski racer.
Well, gravity matters.
Yeah. And my coach told my dad that I needed a summertime sport to help shed a couple kilos, and it was he said you should get him into bike racing. And then about 4 or 5 years later, my father looked at me and he says, "You got to pick a sport because we are involved in the two most expensive sports on the planet." And so I picked bike racing because I was winning more bike races than I was ski races. I've only won one ski race my entire life. It was a GS, Giant Slalom. There we go. Useless information. So, gentlemen, here. Oh, yeah, cycling. Back to. You know, before I stray away from it, what would you guys think if cyclocross was an Olympic sport, winter Olympic sport?
I'd love it.
It'd be
I would really
amazing.
like it.
Huh?
Yeah.
Then we'd have both summer and winter.
Yeah.
Is it?
It's probably one of the only sports that could be summer and winter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it justifiable as a winter sport?
Hell yeah.
Just because we do it in the winter? Is it?
It'd be a winter course.
Does the
It'd
winter
be a snow
conditions
course.
make it
Yeah,
necessary?
that's the thing. It has. Way I understand it, the Olympic anything to be an Olympic winter sport has to be done on snow or ice.
Oh, okay.
So maybe they could.
fat biking.
Yeah.
The lower slopes, though, I mean, the lower portions, as you get away from the snow, you could get into the mud and you have a combo.
Yeah, well, that's why they had that one race in northern Italy this year was all snow.
To show.
Was to show and trying to get the
Oh, was
IOC.
it really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And here's a little interesting thing that I heard Yossi Bain say about the cyclocross race here in America. How expensive it was for Europeans, especially the Dutch and the Belgians, because they are set up with if it's not an Olympic sport, they have to fend themselves. So road cycling is, so the federations don't pay for them to travel to the U.S., so they have to come up with their own funding. So they have, if you're an Olympic sport, because it's really big, Olympics are over there, then usually when you have like world championships and stuff, their federation will pay for it. Yeah. So this cyclocross race in America cost Europeans a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and so if it does make it because they had that snow, then they'd probably get trips to the World Championships.
Good point. Yeah. Change the game. I don't know. It'd be interesting. I think it'd be cool.
Why not? I mean, all the other shit sports they invite into the Olympics.
Speaking of shit sports, I'm really glad none of you said figure skating. I just want to get that out of the way.
It was my number
the haters can approach me and scream at me as much as they want online. Fuck figure skating. I hate figure
that
skating.
little Russian girl is really good.
No, any sport where you have to wear glitter as a part of your required.
That's just the guys. It's not the girls.
It's both.
No,
and it's terrible. I
It's
hate
the
it.
guys wearing glitter.
I hate.
Well,
figure
you
skating.
obviously didn't hear about the French pair.
yeah.
She had her nipple came out.
Oh, no,
she
she
got
had
deducted
nipple?
points.
See,
yeah.
you don't understand.
Yeah.
Did she get a deduction?
Yeah, you get a
Really?
deduction from
We're all waiting for that.
This
That's
amount
why
Dave
we
says-
watch.
Jack, don't
why
be
we
a
watch.
sexist, homophobe asshole on the show. This is our Valentine's Day
We're talking
show.
about women.
I know, but you're going to be a sexist, and then you're eventually going to be a homophobe.
Yeah.
I just calls him as I
Thanks.
see him, buddy.
Yeah. Jesus.
I love you, Jack. I love you in a truly platonic fashion.
Right.
Hey, you guys, talk to me about your ride week. How'd the ride week go? Jack, did you ride this week?
I did.
I just want to give you the next chance to talk because I don't want you to be mad at me.
That's okay.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
How many?
Twice.
Ooh.
Fucking shitty week, but
Yeah.
not outside. You guys were out riding in the nice sunshine midday while I was working.
And with no fenders.
I don't understand why. I'm completely perplexed. But
I see.
no, I one interval day on the trainer and one just half hour. It was a shitty week. Though.
The consistency's up, though.
It's not stopped
That's
for
making
5
me
weeks
happy.
or so.
That's making me happy, man. I'm
Now, as
glad.
long as every race is only about a half hour, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
So
important
junior crit,
the important
I'm-
part of every race is probably a half an hour. Just sit in on the rest. Paul, how was your riding week?
I got a couple indoors, but nothing with intensity because of the back. And then
Yep.
we went out on Sunday, the three of us.
Yeah.
And then I was working on my not cramping threshold on the way home. Because I've been laying on my back for a month and
Yeah.
then started picking up just low
Oh.
intensity on the bike. And then we went out and I tried to chase somebody younger than me
Junior.
early
Yeah.
on, and that didn't.
I knew something
out
was
so
up
good.
because there were some. You always do this on the medium size climbs and even the big climb we were on. You just hold tempo for like way too long, and I can't. You hold it for too long, probably not in your eyes, but in my eyes, you hold it for too long because I can't
Slow down.
stick with you, and it upsets me. And then later on in the ride, I was going, wait, why? I'm a half wheel ahead of Paul. What? Huh? And I knew it had to be cramping or something like that because that's just how it works.
That's right.
Yeah, but that was a good ride. It was good
It
getting
was.
outside. Jackson, how was your week?
It's good. Yeah, I did my calisthenics, which I think is really starting to help.
Really?
I noticed it on Sunday for sure.
What are you doing?
I do, if everybody's interested, there's a Bicycling Weekly workout where it's like an entire like workout in itself. It has like a warm-up unit, then it has a strength unit, and then it has like I forget what it is. It's like explosivity or something like that. I forget what the last one's called, but it's cool.
Buy the magazine?
Yeah.
Bicycling? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Are you jumping up onto the kitchen counter? Just like
Yep.
the
It's
explosivity.
yeah. It's funny because me and Jimmy
Plyometrics.
Yeah. Me and my cat Jimmy are actually doing the same
together.
workout. Yeah.
He's way better.
Yeah, he's on top of the fridge.
Yeah.
We're working out.
Jimmy got jealous, so he put tinfoil on the counters. Though. So Jackson jumps off, and he goes, "Ah!" jumps away. Kind of thing.
I've been shitting in a letterbox.
Yeah, you guys are
Anyways,
It's mine.
Yeah. I didn't race last week. Last week was kind of a big work week, so I just rode hard by myself, which was good. And Sunday was really good. I had a great time.
Yeah, it felt really good to get out. That's 2 Sundays in a row, and I hope I can get out this weekend. But it's been nice. I mean,
Yeah, because it's only going to be 48.
I know.
It
well,
sucks.
no, my
Dry,
schedule
sunny.
wise is my thing that's
Yeah.
scaring me this weekend. I'm 3 weeks out from a big part in my job, my real job, and so it's like, but 1st of March I'm free. But then, so I got 3 rides in this week. An indoor workout in the middle of the week last week, and then Saturday I rode for 2 hours on I chased cartoons, and then Sunday with you guys. So that was I signed up for the Gran Fondo Ephrata. For those of you who are thinking, where the hell is Ephrata? Don't worry about it, because
lost in Washington.
and it is a upcoming. They call it a gravel fondo, but it is I think out of the 88 miles, it's only like 30 of the miles are on gravel, so it's kind of just a bouncy road ride, to an extent.
Gravel is a buzzword now. So
Yeah. So
throw that in there, you're going to get more people.
I probably didn't need to pay the entry fee and go over and do it, but I'm thinking about it now, and so I'm worried about it now, and I'm going to go over and I'm going to ride it with the Diva. So, Carson's going to be there. So people might not know who Karsten Hagen is. He has been on the show for so long, but I'm going to go over there and ride with him, and my goal is to
finish.
Kick the shit out of him. So there we go. I got and my brain shifted already. I'm like 88 miles. Maybe I got to focus more on endurance rides right now. But then that's March 20th, and then we get back, and we've got 2 weeks until our first real road race of the year. So I don't even know what to do now.
And we can see at Hoquiam.
Hoquiam.
I thought it was Hoquiam.
It is, but I think a lot of the verbally challenged natives around there call it Hoquiam.
Hoquiam?
So I adopted that into my verbiage.
Well, there you go. I mean, yeah.
Look it up.
Anybody want to come to Ephrata?
I do. I'm gonna probably have to work.
I can't.
What's
That
the date?
weekend. 20th.
20th.
Let me look.
It's a weekend.
I just don't really want to.
Good for you, Jackson. Good
I
for you,
appreciate the offer, but
Wait, it's Taco Tuesday?
I'm taking the I'm taking the RV, probably by myself, sleeping in an RV all alone.
Weird.
Yeah, people might think I'm cooking meth.
Yeah.
hey, nothing
Well,
wrong.
it's not a Winnebago. Was it Warrior?
Hey, if you are cooking meth,
That
you're
they-
making
The
a
one
lot of
from
money.
Christmas
Yeah,
Vacation.
especially in
No,
Central Washington.
No, from Breaking Bad.
No, Breaking
what
Bad.
was what
I
was-
couldn't
what was
watch
their,
that show.
You couldn't?
No, it's too.
Flashbacks
Yeah.
from
That's
all
right.
the meth use.
Yeah, where I'm from.
From where you're from?
Yeah, Reardon.
Oh,
Yeah.
meth capital of Eastern Washington.
Yeah. Not really, but
Bernal watch. Hey, we're talking about headlines right now. Egan Bernal has spoken of feeling reborn and has paid tribute to doctors for giving him a, quote, second chance, end quote, after he nearly lost his life in a collision with a bus 2 weeks ago. Broke 20 bones. 20. Had to undergo 2 separate spinal surgeries, was released from an intensive care unit of the Clínica Universidad de la Sabana. I sound like
I tell you, they're
something about Mary.
kick-ass
Yeah.
hospital. If they got him out of the hospital,
Yeah, they got him out on
2
Sunday.
Two
Yeah.
weeks, he walked out.
He stood briefly for photos. I think they wheeled him out on the chair after that because, Paul, we were talking about this, and you could see that the doc's kind of holding him
He's
up,
got his-
and he had his mask on, so you couldn't really see if there was a smile. But
Or pain.
dude, the guy was on his feet.
yeah, it's amazing.
And as Bernal has said, life changed for me in a second. One moment I'm preparing for the Tour de France, giving it all in my time trial bike, and next I'm fighting for my life. Hit the back of a stationary bus while riding his bike at speed, fracturing his right femur, kneecap, but also damaging the upper section of his spine. He underwent surgery to stabilize the fractures of the T5 and T6 vertebra, and thankfully emerged without damage to his spinal cord. So I know my first question to you guys is kind of probably come back on crickets, because I don't know if anybody has anything major to add to that other than holy shit, thank God, But my second question was mentioning his accident happened while he was on his TT bike. And a lot of discussion topics have been coming up on the internet about the safety of time trial bikes. And does anybody have any TT-specific bikes and their stability, comments on their stability, their braking, their overall safety?
I have a TT bike, and it's hard for me to keep that on the rollers.
Really?
Yeah, it's you get in there, I'll tuck it.
Yeah. Oh, sure, sure.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned on the ride too that David Miller with Ned Bolting's.
Sure. Yeah.
Never strays far. He was talking about the position where, because aerodynamics is so important, and the rules that the UCI has, this is his take on everything, forces the guy to get his head down and behind his hands, just that contact point of the wind. You're breaking the wind there. The praying-mantis position, that if you look at
elbows, hands higher than the elbows,
and that's what Floyd Landis had, and the UCI said no. So they came up with these rules. Well, you start looking at risers on the pads, and that's to get them up, and then the little bit, so they're, if you look, it's hard to hold and look up ahead. You're constantly kind of giving your neck a rest. Yeah. And then his take on it too is they're so stinking fast that when you're doing that, you see the object, and then you pull your head out. Yeah. You're concentrating on your cadence, power, and everything. Next thing you know, that object's there. You really have to practice it a lot, in order to overcome that. And most road riders don't spend that much time on the TT bike. No. So that was his take on it. And I thought that was pretty insightful.
My TT bike is at your house. That's the old funny bike. I mean, that's
I got to bring that back.
That's as much of a dedicated time trial bike.
You should just put it on the trailer.
I've ridden in years. Yeah,
on the rollers all the time.
Yeah, but I don't. I can only imagine, and maybe it's probably time I cut some triathletes a little bit of flack. When you're riding with a triathlete and they're wobbly and stuff like that. Mind you, they're not used to riding.
It'll get them used
groups.
to it. That's a good thing.
Yeah, but they're not used to riding in groups.
Right.
So that's a number one fear, and then number two, those bikes are not a stable platform.
No, they're not. The wheelbase is tight. There's you're sitting forward. Most of those are 75 degree plus. C-tube angle. And you're steering with your elbows.
Yeah.
Really.
Do we, I mean, we don't know, but do we assume that Bernal was in full aero position when he crashed, or do we?
I would assume so, because it was
we're
said
talking
at
about
speed.
One of the
they
best
said at
cyclists
speed
in the world.
Yeah. They said at speed. So, another issue that was brought up is there's no brakes on the end of those. There's no way you have to, and to get out of there to get to your brake levels. It to me, the whole, not the super tuck, but the puppy paws that was banned. It's a lot easier to get to your brakes than in the aero bars.
Yeah.
But you're not riding in a pack either. But usually people aren't doing that in a pack.
So the UCI is going to put brake levers out on the end of the...
It could possibly.
But that's going to... I remember Paul talking to you about it, but that extends the arm reach, and that becomes illegal. The bars can only extend so far past the end of the stem.
Yeah, so you have a measurement from the tip of your saddle to the very end of your bars / shifters, which hardly anybody has shifters anymore because it's all electronic. But that is, depending on your height, a certain dimension. So you can't have it extended too far out. So brake levers, you could probably, I don't know, braking in an aero because it's so tight. Can you imagine trying to control and
the wobble? Yeah.
So... I don't think
electric over hydraulic. You just have a button you push, and your disc brakes slow.
Well, they're making that electric
over,
that wireless braking
concept.
Yeah. Oh no. Well, of course you would.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah,
point.
you're so not F1.
Mm-hmm.
Totally rally.
So F1 has wireless brakes?
I fucking know. I haven't
No.
watched in a while.
That's iTruck.
So you're full of shit.
It's comic book stuff. It's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Zwift.
Yep.
I don't know. It's just, it makes you think about this entire.
Are there brakes on Zwift?
No.
No.
Oh, no brakes.
Mm.
Can you hit the
Are there?
brakes?
Well, now
Can you
with,
take somebody out?
wouldn't that be crazy?
Well, then you can steer, right?
Now with the creation of the smart bikes, there's the possibility of braking, coasting, doing all that.
The Wahoo bike?
Yeah,
Yep.
they're having like there is an idea of a development out there that it could lead to that because there is going to be a Zwift dedicated bike.
Can you crash?
Zwift's making
Can
their
you
own
crash
indoor
somebody?
trainer.
Wow.
No,
You ghost right through them.
You wonder if that
Yeah, you
becomes
go
I'd
through.
fucking try to crash them.
at some
Yeah.
point in time. If it gets to that level where crashing becomes a part of it, oh
Yeah.
my god.
yeah,
That'd be so
Or just
awesome. Well, it
some
might-
sort of a program that decides when you flat.
They should
Just
do that
random
to
intervals.
keep the
So
people
annoying.
that get a contract,
Yeah.
like from Zwift. They should teach them how to not crash people prior to getting that contract. Like if you didn't crash, you should
don't
go
think
through
that's gonna
Cat
work.
4 through. Okay, whatever.
How about just put them on a regular bike?
No,
I don't know. It's yeah, that's
a lot,
fascinating. That's
yeah.
cool. By the way, in case you guys didn't know, story number 2: COVID isn't gone. COVID hasn't left us. In
What?
fact, it is messing things up quite a bit. Casper Asgreen has tested positive and is out of the Tour de Provence this week. Nairo Quintana is recovering and will be at Provence. Tadej Pogacar is just getting over it. And correct me if I'm wrong, Bike Exchange had to drop out of Valencia or the Saudi Tour. I think it was Valencia because of positive COVID tests. So I'm going to let Jackson touch this one first. Thoughts about this in general, but knowing what it did last year and the year before to a certain rider by the name of Peter Sagan and how it affected his spring.
yeah.
I mean, it doesn't sound like an 8 to 10 day time off is that big of a deal for most of us, but for these guys, it's a big deal.
Yeah, luckily right now, I mean, I'm not saying that like, oh, it's COVID, get over it. But yeah, luckily right now with the current variant, luckily is a tough word, but anyways, it's not as severe. It's way more contagious though, so that's why a lot more people are getting it now, but a lot more people are not dying from it. And so that could be a reason as to why a lot of pros are being able to make it back quickly. I know in soccer, there are a lot of players as well that are testing positive and then coming back a couple days later just to be able to just that quick, and they're still at the top of their game.
I would imagine most of them are vaccinated though.
Yeah, and
so
that-
you're getting it. You're just vaccinated and you're not dying. I mean, that's
and
the
that
difference.
and that was a
Yeah.
big thing that Pogacar said today on his Instagram story
Yeah.
was that he was happy that he was vaccinated and he had his booster as well, because he said he was pretty. I mean, he's not saying my words, but he said that like it would have been much worse if he wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just a lot to think about, especially traveling the world. Are they really in a hardcore bubble? They're all coming from different places.
Do you guys think we're at the tail end of this?
Well, the numbers I just saw, the numbers are going down. And my wife was with her good friend who's also a nurse, a travel nurse. And they're looking at a severe drop just in the last month. And a lot of the countries in Europe are starting to go to an endemic stage as opposed to pandemic. So I think, UCI is going to probably loosen the reins a little bit. That doesn't mean you can't be vaccinated, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
traveling will be easier, and then all those restrictions will be opened up. So it looks like 2023 Belgium. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, your ticket's still good.
No, I cashed it
You
back
had
in.
you had insurance.
No, I just got it all back because there was no problem with COVID.
You lost all your money.
No,
No.
we got it all back.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Good.
And I'm
And what are they going to do? Well, we can't control the pandemic. Sorry, you're out.
Yeah.
$3,000.
Sorry, global plague.
Yeah,
Should have read your fine print.
I had to cancel the Airbnb, and I didn't hear back from her, the lady.
Really?
So sorry, but we can't make it.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well, I'm sure she was really pissed off. Yeah, probably. What a last week in terms of return to, and I predominantly focus on the road scene in racing, but the Tour de Passage, Valenciana, and the Saudi Tour. Who watched what? Did anybody watch all the above? Paul probably watched all the above. You did?
Yeah. Not live. I didn't watch the Saudi Tour live.
Yeah.
I didn't really care that much, but Valencia I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched Passage, Tour de Passage. I did catch some of the bigger stages on Valenciana. I didn't watch. I watched the first 20 seconds of the Saudi Tour, which was all that stage was covered.
Yeah, because
the cameras weren't working.
Yeah, they didn't allow the plane to go up in the air.
Oh, okay.
So they couldn't do. All they had is that.
It was the last 300 meters.
Yeah.
Of the stage. That was it. Yeah. Jackson, do you guys watch any?
Just recorded on the trainer. I mean,
yeah. No,
but
a lot of it I didn't watch live.
Yeah.
I watched it, later on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
it's fun to watch road racing early. I think it's early. Is it early?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It just seems early. I mean, it's just like I never watched bike racing before the classics.
Yeah.
Before this, and now it's just there's so much social media.
Do you want to say Het Volk?
I do.
I do too. Instead of Het Nieuwsblad. Yeah, but Het Volk, that was always the first big race. Yeah. Jackson, what'd you catch?
My schedule begins. I didn't watch any of it. My schedule begins at Provence. That's where I usually start watching. That's where I started watching last year.
Okay.
So I'll hop in there again. I just, my week sucks. Well, okay, it doesn't suck. But I don't have time, unfortunately, to watch them during the week. So
yeah,
I caught all the results on GCN Racing. So we're all good.
Yeah.
So Provence, speaking of, who's carrying that? Flow Bikes doesn't have it. GCN Plus doesn't. I looked on their schedule. So in Peacock,
NBC Sports,
it's a friend.
It is. If it's an ASO, that's probably who has it.
Yeah, it is for sure.
And so when I started doing research and I looked on Peacock, they just keep throwing you back to replays. Everything's Tour de France to them, and it drives me insane. So I don't even know if they're covering it. And it starts Thursday.
Yeah. I hope they do. I really like that race, especially. Like last year was really good. I really liked watching Bernal almost play like a domestique role to Ivan Sosa, which is really interesting. And I really wanted Alaphilippe to win, but alas.
Flow Bikes, how to watch 2022.
It's not on there. When I pull up Flow Bikes, it's not on their schedule.
It says watch it on Flow Bikes. Sign up here.
They're just trying to trick you.
Yeah. Yeah, so that would suck if it wasn't available. Because I like that. That's a fun little stage race, and it kind of gives us a preview into a lot of the riders and who's doing
I
what.
stand corrected, yes. Yep.
It's Flow Bikes.
Flow Bikes has it.
Because I remember this time last year.
No, it says, unfortunately, this event is unavailable in your location. We apologize for the inconvenience.
Is it right now, though, because it's Tuesday and not Thursday?
It says the date, February 10th through the 15th. Or, excuse me.
Left.
And
13th.
GCN isn't coming.
GCN doesn't have it. So I think it's on Peacock. Since it's a French race, it might be ASO. But Peacock doesn't give you a schedule. I can't find on their stupid app a schedule for cycling.
And live is impossible.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay. All right.
I'm going to look. Anyway,
shit. Speaking of current racing, does anybody have any comments on the gravelly challenged man formerly known as Remco Evenepoel?
We talked about this on the ride, actually.
Yeah.
We did, yeah.
Yeah,
our listeners weren't with us, so
no, they weren't.
Bring it back up.
Wow, we should do that.
Yeah.
Everybody, come on.
Yeah. I don't know. He seems like he talks a big talk, but then when it's time to be the best all-around racer, kind of seems like he's fallen short a little bit.
The guy's amazing.
Of
course.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, in that attack in that was first
San
stage?
Sebastian? Oh,
no,
you're talking about
this year in Valenciana. Second stage.
Yeah.
Fucking unbelievable. The guys can hammer it.
It is disappointing though when you are such a talent and then you have to talk. Like you got to talk. You got to use your chat to be able to get out of a situation where you didn't win. I find that disappointing instead of taking it on the chin and being like, yeah, I didn't race
work.
perfectly today. That's just what happened. Instead of like, oh, they could have had a different course.
Or just looking at the camera going, I fucking hate gravel. I hate it. It scares the shit out of me.
He did make a statement that it was not so much the gravel. Well, in so many words. It's the very steep stuff that he goes, I'm just not good at.
Oh, okay.
That was his
it
claim.
was.
Yeah.
So it was
really
that
steep.
fairly long gravel climb, and then it turned to pavement. And
That's where he got dropped.
Who won that stage?
Vlasov.
Yeah. It was the tail end of the stage. It wasn't a long gravel section. It was maybe a K. No, it wasn't even a K. I don't think it was that long.
He got dropped right before. I think he got separated because Vlasov attacked, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So he actually got back on the gravel. Fullsign did the attack, and that's what split everything up. I think he got caught behind, but it was the last whatever inside a kilometer where they're unpaved is where it got steep, and he got dropped.
Yeah.
He even shook his head crossing the line like,
yeah.
No.
40 seconds back.
And then having these dramatic elements coming into it, this almost, and I don't want to associate this necessarily with Remco, but there was a lot of stuff that came out of it. It became almost like a soap opera. When I see Johan Brunel sending out a tweet that demanding races stop treating cyclists as, and I can't quote him directly, but the equivalent of circus animals, he says, when there's designing races. And, he's talking about these complaints. And Johan, what is Paris-Roubaix?
Or
what is
some of the
cycling?
stages of Tour of Italy.
Yeah,
what is the fucking snow?
What is cycling in its essence? It is a spectator sport. And I'm not saying we need to treat our athletes like animals, but I'm saying that the drama is a part of the sport, and does, in your guys' opinion, do gravel roads belong in road cycling currently in today's society?
This is going to sound strange. As much as I like doing races on gravel, like not gravel races, but gravel sections. I think it's at the point where it's kind of turning into a gimmick. I think they're overusing it.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't know if it was really necessary, if they're looking to find gravel, to finish a race. But if their idea is to get to this point and it has gravel along the way, I don't have a problem. But I don't know if Valencia, whether that was their intention, just found a road with gravel towards the end to, make a
all
big
of
deal.
These stages used to, in the tour and all the tours, used to be substantially gravel heading up to the ski station.
That was the road.
It's you had no choice, but not that we need to live in 1930s or 20s or whatever. But it seems like if there is a relatively smooth gravel road, yes, your tires are slipping and you're but. So the guy that would win it if it was all paved doesn't win. It makes it more interesting. I mean, it's all about making the bike race interesting.
Yeah.
And you can't cater. That's like the tour. Oh, okay, well, such and such is going to win this year because there's more time trials or there's more climbing. But you shouldn't cater to a riding style when you're developing a road course. You should be like, hey, this will be neat. This year, this is going to be cool, And you're kind of thrown a little anomaly in the middle of a stage that there's been in the tour, there's been stages where I'm shocked, Bernal or some of the smaller guys like Froome, he had a good tour during gravel. Yeah. Where you'd think like he'd be the guy that'd be like way off the back, and
he had a shit tour over the pave.
Right. But there was one gravel year, or maybe
Bernal did gravel last year in the Giro,
and that's like, hey, that's cool. I mean,
it's completely revitalized Paris Tour. In my personal opinion,
it shouldn't dictate like, hey, we're like gravel guys, let's do this, let's get more gravel into the UCI tour races and such. But I don't know.
Well,
Strada Bianca is now huge in terms of.
Was that Trey Brion? What is that one?
Yeah.
In France?
Trobro.
Yeah.
That was designed to go through these like pretty much pathways and dirt roads and stuff from the conception. Same with Strada Bianca. The reason they put it in, I think, the 2010 Giro is to help promote. It was Strada Bianca was a sportif.
Yeah.
And then they turned it into a race. And, that's fine. Cobbles don't have to be in every tour. Once in a while, that's fine. But I think...
Not every
it seems like now it's because it's such gravel is like the buzzword that everybody has to put a gravel section in the Grand Tour, or I think it's overused. So
yeah, I don't know. It showed. I think last year it was really interesting to watch at the Giro. Bernal and Ghana at the front of that peloton, just absolutely kicking it, and then it showed that a lot of the weaker riders in terms of bike handling couldn't handle it, Remco being one of them. And this is not to say that he's a poor bike handler. It just showed that there was a gap there. And like I mentioned last year when we were watching the Giro, I think the best all-around bike rider should be able to win the race. And in that instance, we saw it. It wasn't because of gear. It wasn't because of anything. It was because of just Bernal was the best cyclist of the 3 weeks, and he was prepared for it. And I think if you want to be a pro at the top level, you have to be able to cope with these things. And I agree. I think it can be kind of a gimmick, especially when it gets a little more on the gnarlier side of things, but it's going to be there. So what are you going to do but deal with it?
And that's the cool thing about a tour is like the route is different every year. So, all right, this year's a climbing
and
year.
it's announced far enough in advance.
Like,
that
hey, you
know
better
that
go
that's gonna be a
recon the gravel or the cobble section. But
Yeah.
and then you go to Roubaix and you always know exactly what to expect.
Bernal rode Strada Bianca because he knew there were going to be gravel section in the Giro.
Yeah, right,
now,
right.
did Remco Evenepoel know that there were going to be sections of gravel in the Tour Valenciana? Probably not, and or maybe yes ahead of time, but he didn't. He's not like going, oh my God, I'm going to plan my entire season around that.
Right.
I that today went shitty, so I'm mad. Maybe.
But it makes you question. This is the second time that he's come into it, and he's done poorly.
Yeah.
When do you start going, shit, I got to maybe
I should
prepare
go
for
bounce
this.
around in the
Or
dirt
avoid
a little
it.
bit.
Yeah.
Or avoid it entirely. Yeah.
That's the thing. If a race has it, you can't whine.
Yeah.
You signed up for it, right?
I don't want to badmouth him to a certain degree, but it just sounds like this guy's got a lot of people whispering in his ear how wonderful he is. And I'm worried about him. I don't want him to go, yes, I am the next Eddie Merckx, and the next thing we know, we've got a Vanderbroek on our hands.
Well, I think you guys are getting a taste of what Belgium's like, because it is so freaking important that cycling is so important to them. That's like when we're gonna be there.
Yeah,
Well, they've ruined guys.
Yeah,
mid
Tom.
career.
They said Tom Boonen was
Boonen,
really
yeah,
the
yeah,
king. Was the king of Belgium. Whatever
They're all
he
the
said,
next
everybody
Eddie
did.
Merckx.
Yeah. Van der Arden fell into that. God, what was his name? There's another guy that they keep claiming the next Eddie Merckx. They haven't had a Grand Tour winner since 1979.
Eddie Planker. No.
Yeah. But so they want this so badly. I mean, they live and breathe. So the pressure is on. I feel sorry for any Belgian cyclist that has any,
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
I mean, look at him.
He's not a Grand Tour, so that's where he's
not yet. Look at him
but if he fails, they're always like, "What the heck?" So when Belgium didn't do well in the World Championships, of course, they're devastated. So anyway,
but they sound like such nice people.
They are. They're great.
Well, they sucked at the cyclocross championships.
The junior
world.
I think it was under 23 swept.
They got third on the men's.
Yeah.
Hey guys, let's get to the topic for tonight's show, shall we? Brought to us by our friends over at Mojo Cyclery, Spokane's source for all things gravel fun and just plain old brilliant LBS. And I don't mean the BS. I mean LBS. Local bullshit. No local bike shop. If you're in Spokane, get to Mojo for the best in sales, service, and even weekly rides and fun. I could just sit in their store, drink a beer, and talk with those guys all day. MojoCyclery.com is your place to start. If you don't live here, if you don't live in this area, go to your LBS. Frequent your LBS. Help them out and make that happen. And, I know, yes, this show is hypocritically sponsored also by a online bike shop, but go to your LBS first. I want to make this show a Valentine's Day special, everybody. We're going to talk about love. If you're with us live, you have 6 days to apparently be romantic, right? Because I don't believe in Valentine's Day. Never have. I'm just going to let you know. I think it's a bullshit holiday for people to suddenly quit being a dickhead and suddenly be nice to their significant others. But so there we go. But I want to talk about the selfish nature of our sport and how that impact has upon relationships. We are all cyclists in this room. You're listening to this show. Chances are you have dedicated a specific piece of your emotional pie to the sport of cycling. Cycling is a lifestyle. Some of us have been always doing it, and our significant others know what they were getting into. Some find it later in life, which can definitely put a strain on things. So let's try and find some middle ground. So precursor here, I want to say this right now, and I want to get this out of the way. Yes, this is an all-male panel, all right? Each of us are heterosexual men. That will obviously drive our conversation in a specific direction. If you are with us live, please chime in via YouTube. Jackson is monitoring as I speak. And I did reach out to the one and only Anne-Mariah Rook for her input on this, and it was great. She actually kind of went, oh. First of all, she couldn't make it because she has believe it or not, she has a dog class. She's training her dog. She had a dog training class. But
it rides on her back.
Yeah, she's been taking it out on her back.
Yep. Like Daniel Lloyd.
Yeah. Yeah, he did too. Mm-hmm. I was going to do it with my dog, but he's like 70 pounds.
No, you can do it. I'll bring my dog if you bring your dog.
Yeah, sure. Your dog's huge, man. But she also, it was kind of funny when she was just like, oh, shit. I don't know. I'm putting words in her mouth, but it was the equivalent of like, I am a selfish cyclist. I don't know if I'd be good for this topic. And so, we're all going to put ourselves out on the line there. And if there's anybody out there, especially some of our female listeners, I think it'd be interesting to hear some perspective from that side of the equation. And if you're listening to this...
my wife isn't here.
Yeah. If you're listening to this...
She'll be here in a minute.
Yeah. Well, guess who's coming through door number 2? Yeah.
You are the dad.
Yeah. Dr. Phil. Well,
guess who's Maury or
anyway. Yes, this will be leaning away, and if you have something even after the fact, if you're listening to this non-live, I'd love to hear your input on this. So, gentlemen, let's just start out here. Describe your current relationship with your significant other. How would you describe your current relationship? Dating or married? Because we have somebody who's dating here. How long? And we don't need to go full therapy here, but how do you consider your relationship with your significant other? I will go first. I've been married for 28 years. I think 28. 20 or 29. I might be in trouble.
Christ almighty, I don't know.
Look at the Jackson. Yeah, like he's like, dude, I wasn't here.
Yeah.
Especially now that we're empty nesters. I don't want this to sound too cheesy, but my wife is predominantly the main person in my life, and that's about it. So,
except on Tuesday nights.
She knew I was a cyclist when I was getting in. She didn't know I was going to be a podcaster when we were getting in.
Podcast nerd.
But we'll get into that later. So that's my relationship with my wife. Jackson?
You can call it dating. But I've been with my current girlfriend for 6 years. We currently live together. We have a cat together.
I was going to say that. That's important.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Just don't call it fur baby. I hate that shit.
No, he's our freak. But what else? I've always been in some sort of sport. Our entire relationship first was soccer. And if you think I take this seriously, I was gonna base my career off of playing that. So there was another dimension there. So kind of the time-consuming sport thing being away. That's just always been there. What else? No,
that's good. That's a good start. That's a good start.
Got more. Oh, you looking at me?
Yeah.
So I've been married, like 4 years or so, but with my wife for 10.
Oh,
and she, right when we got together, I was riding a little bit, and she ran a lot, and it got me into running.
It's her fault.
It's her fucking fault. Like I went from zero to she got me. I think in the first year we were dating, I ran 3 marathons, qualified for Boston. We ran a couple 50-milers together that year. I mean, every 4 nights a week was running clubs. It was so she was kind of a freak of like go, get up at 4 a.m, run before work. So that was very motivating at 48 years old or 40. No.
You misspoke. You said motivating. You meant punishing.
I was gonna say, Jack. Nobody tells you this. You're kind of a hard ass. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no big deal.
Amazing.
But anyway,
okay.
No, yeah, it was kind of like a rebirth of hardcore sports. Like, and I'm a lot of the trail running and a lot of the long distance running we did and cycling has been, I guess, not just your average going out for a 5K type of thing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Paul?
Met my wife 29 years ago. Started dating 28 years ago. Going to be married this year 27 years. Was married before. Cycling was a big divider on that one.
I didn't mention that.
Yeah. And so I've got experience on that end.
Yeah.
And then,
we're going to get to that.
Yeah. And it's also been a hard adjustment in the early years about, obviously, I'm cycling fanatic. So
was it a hard sell for you guys when about the cycling element, the part of that piece of your pie, as I was speaking of? Was it a hard sell? My wife knew I was a bike racer day one. We were driving to our honeymoon. She had a Velonews in the car. She was trying to pronounce cycling names. I taught her to say Johan Museu's name. I taught her to say Jamaluddin Abdujaparov and stuff like that. And we were laughing about, she would intentionally try it, and we were just making fun of it. But she knew this going in day one, that this was a part of the relationship with me. You guys, you guys were cyclists before. As I was before this whole thing. Was it a tough sell? Was it honey, I promise we're going to share, but this is a big time consuming part of my life?
Not necessarily. I've always in some way, shape or form had a bike around, whether I was like as dedicated as I am to it now. Growing up in the house that I did, with the terrible father that I had.
Prick. Yeah.
Forced the bike down your throat.
Seriously, that's why I'm here today.
Pretty much.
No, but I there was always around in some way, shape, or form. Yeah. And so it wasn't a surprise when I shifted from one to the other. And we've always known this in our relationship, but I have a bit of like an obsessive personality, and so when I get on something, I get on something. And so when soccer stopped, it had to be something, and it was this. So
okay, you guys, was it a tough sell for this significant other?
I think in every situation, even when I was dating before my first wife, and then my first wife and my wife, it was part of my life. And at first, when you're dating, everything's cool. And then when seriousness comes along, and
sure,
you're not altering, there is a certain period, and it depends on each girl I was with, how soon that tolerance of my devotion to cycling, I had some that thought it was the coolest thing in the world, and then all of a sudden it's like, so when are you going to grow up? Pretty much, and it's like, I'm not going to have anything to do with I'm going to do this until I'm 6 feet under.
Yeah.
But with my wife, she thought it was pretty cool. She had no problems with it, and I was kind of stepping away because of my divorce, and financially couldn't really dive too deep into it. And then I started coming back in the early 2000s. Things started getting established a little bit, with the kids are getting older. And then the devotion that you have to put in to be competitive became a problem. So then the hardest part is figuring out what I can do, because I couldn't take away family time. Yeah. Finances are a big problem. It's like, I can't afford a new tire. I'm not going to race for, you just have to eat the crow. It's just like, no. So.
Yeah, one quick thing. So
No,
I'll have to say,
you were next, so that's fine.
I thought you were just gonna move on, but
Or hoping.
So I'll have to say, so right early on when we got together, so we started watching the tour, and she fell in love with riders in the tour. I'll have to say it. She was in love with Lance. She's in love with Chris Froome. Now I don't know who. I think she likes Sagan. The hair.
Good taste.
But she likes the old hair, the long hair.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but she's making me grow out my hair.
The scraggy.
That was peak Sagan anyways.
Yeah, not the beard, but the hair.
That was peak Sagan.
Yeah. So in her interest, every year we watch the tour. And I bet we watch together. I'll watch any other race, but she'll watch 2 times a day the tour.
Yeah.
And I think she just likes to watch the guys. So that's to my benefit.
Yeah.
Like the bigger my legs get, the happier she is.
Sure.
So.
My wife fell in love with Jan Ulrich because he's German.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
This
I don't know
just
about the
popped into my
redheads.
head. This isn't a prearranged question. Shave legs. Was it a weird what the fuck, you shave your legs? Or was it, ooh, you shave your legs? I mean, was there? My wife at first was like, this is a little messed up, but now if they get long, she's like, your legs are disgusting. You need to shave.
Or that middle zone where it's like just crusty and
sharp. Get away from me.
Sandpaper.
Do not kick your legs in the middle of the night because you're gonna rip the flesh off of my legs. Yeah, was shaving legs like a holy shit? That's fucked up.
It was at first. It was like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah,
but then it's just normal now.
Yeah,
But
if they get hairy, would she be like, ew?
No.
Really?
No.
Because your mom is like that now. She's like, your legs look gross.
Well, see how I am.
That's just me.
Yeah. See how I am is winter comes, it's, we let off a little bit, but then summer comes, it's like every other day. That's what my schedule becomes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, my wife
She's
met me with, the day we met, I had shaved legs because I met her at her
She
bike
doesn't even
race.
know you have hair.
Yeah.
No, well, my hair, because I'm not a very hairy person,
Yeah.
but the few hairs that I have on my
Unlike
leg.
Pat.
Yeah, I can flex and grow.
Yeah.
Hey, you
But
want to
she-
see me with a beard?
Yeah, you want those jeans?
But there is this story that she told. We were at a family gathering, and we were by this pool, and I'm talking to my 2 brothers and my dad at the time, and she's like, "Man, what's wrong with her, Paul's brothers and dad's legs?"
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh God, they got hair on
They
them."
have hair.
Yeah. She's like, "That's normal." I mean, she got
seeing-
used to it.
Yeah.
Do you guys know of any relationships, or have you ever had one that failed due to your obsession with the sport? Paul's. I didn't write that with you in mind.
No, I know.
But I knew that you probably had a story.
Oh, I have plenty.
I mean, you don't have to name any names. Do you want to?
Yeah,
Name
my
the
name-
names. I want to hear the names.
I had girlfriends
Name
before
names.
that.
Names.
Social security number.
I had one girl that I dated that said, you have a very unhealthy obsession to cycling, but that was what drew her to me. But she didn't like the idea that, that's cool, but now you can back off because we're together. And that didn't last long. And my ex-wife, too, was the same thing. She thought it was extremely exciting, went to races, but when she'd come to races, wanted to talk about something else while I'm staging for a race and getting ready. It's like, I can't do this. I'm sorry, but we'll talk afterwards.
Oh.
And then I would be gone for the worst thing that a guy can do is say, I'm going for a 3-hour ride. Because it's never a 3-hour ride.
No.
It's 4 or 5.
That's like saying I'm only going to go out and have 2 beers.
Yeah. And even my wife now just says, go for a ride. You say long, medium, or short.
Yeah.
And if you say long, I'll expect you within 8 hours.
Tomorrow morning. Yeah.
Because when you put a time on it, then
That's
because
a
she starts
great
putting
idea.
planes.
Yeah.
She starts
She's
putting
already got it planned out. day after that.
when you get back in
Yeah.
the shower, we're gonna go
Mow the
grab
lawn.
pizza or well, we usually do fun things afterwards.
Oh.
She knows I'm pretty wiped out. So.
Yeah.
But then she's all ready, and I'm dragging my ass in like several hours later.
Long,
She's
medium, or
lost
short. Those of you listening, that is a great way to phrase it. Because short is under 2 hours.
Yep.
Medium is 3-ish.
Yep.
Long is
3+.
Don't plan on me.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll come back destroyed and
and I'll just want to go take a nap.
Tomorrow.
I'll just want to take a nap. Yeah. And I'm sorry.
But that took a decade to figure out that
That's
system.
a great idea. But our point of this episode, our point of this episode is sharing our pains and our frustrations.
Yeah.
I have known of some relationships that have fallen because of the people who have fallen into cycling later in life. And they become incredibly obsessed with it. And they are probably not very empathetic people to begin with. The lawyers, kind of people like that, not naming any names or anything like that. But their relationships tend to suffer because of it, because they are somewhat or mostly self-obsessed people who become even more self-obsessed. And it becomes a part of that. And I don't know how I'm segueing to this, but I'm going to. My wife looked at me jokingly at first, just recently, this weekend. This last weekend, about my obsession with my weight loss, my obsession with riding, my obsession with remodeling the studio and doing this stuff down here. And part of the look in her eye, she meant it as a joke, but I could see behind that there was something in her eyes that was going, you've kind of been focusing really hard on this. Mm-hmm. And she's been very giving about that. And I think a part of me needed to see the part behind her eyes that wasn't a joke. And do something about it. I haven't done something about it yet. And so I'm sure people can relate, about that demon on your shoulder, like this weekend, knowing that the weather's going to be good. Do I go out? Do I go out and ride again? Do I keep digging that wound a little deeper? Or do I, is the relationship about being selfish, or is the relationship about completely not being selfish, or is there a happy middle ground? I guess, I don't know.
I think with my wife, the biggest thing was that going for a ride, for a 3-hour ride, even at that point, to continue talking or texting with your buddies who you rode with is still part of the ride.
Yeah.
And that was a hard lesson.
Yeah.
And even, it's like almost chamois time.
Yeah.
Even if you're done, you say, I'm down at the coffee shop with the boys. We're, just let you know I'm in town. I'm safe.
It's like texting on a date.
Yeah.
When you're like, hey, who you with?
Yeah. And but that's part of the ride. My wife calculates that part of the ride. Now, you said a medium ride, right?
Yeah. Now you're into the long.
Now it's 2.5 hours, and now you went and had coffee or a beer at Benedito's.
Yeah.
And now you're at 3. You said a medium ride. You went into long.
Yeah.
Anything attached to it, whether I'm calling on the phone or talking to people, that's attached to cycling.
Okay.
And that was like a hard thing for me to equate. It's like, but I'm not on the ride. I'm home. But you're talking to so-and-so, or
you're not a part of the house.
They weren't even on the ride.
Yeah,
I was just talking about the bike race, but it is attached to cycling.
Sure.
So, and take heed if your wife's joking about it. It's attached to cycling.
And I don't want this to turn into a, oh my God, the ball and chain, that kind of a mentality, because that's bullshit. Because this is a 2-part relationship. I don't care what sexual orientation, what gender you happen to be. This is a 2-way street, and I don't expect my wife to be waiting for me or something stupid like that. I want her to obviously do the things in her life that are so important to her, but also I have to understand that part of our life together is our life together. Mm-hmm. And I said earlier at the onset of the show that Valentine's Day is cheesy for me because I think you should be romantic and find reasons to be romantic year-round. I'm not being very romantic right now. I kind of dropped the ball. But, there we go. Jackson, somebody who's dating, technically. Mm-hmm. I mean, how does this all fall into the equation?
It's kind of funny because it's not that hard. For me, and I'm not that this is not discounting anything that's been said.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, but I I mentioned earlier that I have this like obsessive tendency when it comes to a lot of things, and when it comes to this, she knows that I am somebody who, when I am in on something, I'm all in on something, and this is one of those things that I'm all in on. Like, we both know that I enter something and I want to be the absolute. I mean, I want to win. I want to be the best. That's how I am mentally driven for some reason. And so she knows that sometimes that takes time. And so we've kind of like, we know how things, just work.
Does she have something in which she wants to be the best that you would have to give up cycling, or at least a part of your cycling life in order to return that favor?
I think it's weird because she doesn't necessarily have a thing that's like cycling, it's more of a, well, yeah, kind of. And cause her work is so taxing. I mean, she's a nurse. And so she is kind of devoting a lot of time and energy to that. And so when she's gone, I guess I don't know. I don't know if there is something out there that like this that I spend hours and hours on, but also at the same time, she's the only person, like, she's kind of like my best, like my friend that I hang out with and my girlfriend at the same time.
Sure.
So when we're together, it's not like, oh, like it's wife time, it's just like, just kind of hanging out time.
I'm at home.
Yeah.
I'm at home.
It's, I guess
it's
I don't.
not like she's a pet or something like that. For
No,
fuck's
yeah.
sake, for those, I'm so terrified. The back of my head is going, people are going to yell at me about this. People are going to yell at me about this, because that's the world we live in now. But Jack, you have an interesting situation in that not only do you have your job, but one of your jobs is with your wife.
Yeah. We spend a lot of time together, like working.
Yeah.
Just working.
How do you keep things in a marital, romantic kind of thing like that, and then have your time? I mean, does she
Like
have
my
her
time
things
by
she does
myself,
outside of her?
yeah. So it helps a little bit that I have a career outside our work together.
Okay.
So our work together is 7 days. It can be 7 days a week. A lot of nights, a lot of obviously weekends. But and then I have my jobs. Like today I was home inspector in Colfax and in town, and then I show up and we're working together before the podcast. And so we have like work together. We're around each other all the time, but we also have the same sort of motivations on the physical front, like
Sure.
as in hobbies. She leaned towards running, but she rode with me yesterday morning. So that's a common. So we have a common need for physical activity.
Sure.
Okay. And then, but in listening to this, the first thing I thought of is, well, first of all, none of us are being paid to ride our bikes anymore, or at all.
Yeah.
So there's balance. And I've always had a difficult time finding balance in cycling versus relationship, because my significant other has another. I almost said another. That's like anyway, has not had quite the physical interest that my current wife has. So I, being the type of person I am, I'm more of a give up my day of bike for the significant other. Like if I feel like there's the challenges, I've quit cycling in relationships, and I've regained cycling out of relationships. Like when I'm single, right. I've been full on cycling.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm finally in a relationship where like I can juggle all of this, and there's mutual understanding of what I'm doing. If I'm going out for a ride for 3-4 hours, it's assumed that I'll be back when I'm back, and there's no weird feelings on my end like, well, I should be back.
Yeah.
For the first time in my life.
I remember earlier in my marriage with my wife, there came a point where she looked at me not me asking her or checking with her. She looked at me and she said, okay, here's the deal. You're miserable. Saturdays, I don't want to see you until early afternoon. Oh, just go away.
Yeah.
And she says, I'm going to do my shit. I want to do the stuff I want to do. We got to quit worrying about spending time together. A marriage isn't necessarily about, cuddling and holding hands.
If you're not happy with yourself, you're not going to be happy in the relationship.
Cuddling and holding hands. And people who spoon when they sleep, that's bullshit. That only happens in the movies, right? Right? Can we all?
Yeah.
Okay. Because when you want to sleep, you want to fucking sleep, right? Jack, you fucking snuggle when you sleep, don't you? Oh, Jesus.
Sometimes they get too hot.
Okay.
You got put the feet out.
That's the thermometer leg. Do you guys have any specific rules? Like Paul had that great one, rules/suggestions. That short ride, medium ride, long ride. Do you guys have any other things like that you would be willing to pass down?
Yeah, for me personally, I think that's something that you and your partner have to work out.
No, that's not that one. That's the.
Hey, you boys!
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. I think that's something that, my ex-wife and my current wife is completely different people.
Yeah.
And they, to be honest, and my first wife, I have no, animosity or anything towards her. We really didn't gel. It wasn't just cycling, but cycling was the pinpoint. And, I can't blame it all on cycling. There was other issues. But with my wife now, it took time for us to figure out a common ground. And like Jack was saying earlier, where, I'm 59. I'm not going to take it too serious. But you want to be competitive, right?
Sure.
And so there's sometimes I have to reel myself back. And even though I know it would benefit to go out for, like with you guys at a certain day, I know that I've been crucifying, that I'm burning it as kind of like a deposit, in a bank. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm taking withdrawals every time I go out. I got to learn, and I finally learned after, like I said, decades of this. At least with Renee, it worked. Yeah. Is like, you know what? I've spent 20 hours so far on the bike. In her mind, me 5, and so therefore, I just can't ride. Yeah. So,
Jackson, yeah.
I will say, I think, and this goes for all of relationships. Just communication about it. Yeah. I think that's what keeps it going. Just outside of sport in general, I am, and this is what I'm bad at. I'm not a planner. I'm a guy who, and that's why I think I am a teacher, because especially a preschool teacher, because nothing goes right. Nothing at all goes right. And
you're right.
Yeah. And you just have to be able to switch out, like you have to be able to have the capacity to switch out of nowhere. Yeah. And that's what I do. If something comes up last minute, I'll change all my plans and I'll just do that thing that I want to do. But that's not realistic at all. So I think just saying like setting a schedule, like I have a schedule that I want to ride on. And if there's something on the weekend, I say, hey, there's this thing I want to do on the weekend. Mm-hmm. And then that's kind of it. As long as there's a plan to it, that's what's great. Yeah. As long as you know what's going to happen before it happens, that's what I found out has been successful. But like if you just kind of like, oh, by the way, I'm riding tomorrow and it's midnight. Yeah. Like sometimes that can be frustrating because you want to make plans, but just out of nowhere you pop it up. It can be difficult.
Fuckhead, we were going to my mom's house tomorrow or something like that. You're like, oh,
you got to remember the schedule.
That's where my phone helps so much because I make a point. I'm like, okay, we're going to, do this on this day or that day. I don't want to pre-plan my life. I don't want to make it look like everything has to be on a calendar. But boy, it's nice to have sometimes those things that that you need to be paying very close attention to, and those the important days.
Well, you also have to, like, when you do go on that ride, you have to come home and like expect to
you
be
might
present.
have to
like Paul was saying with the texting.
You can't just go to sleep.
Yeah. It's like your day isn't over. Yeah. It's not nap time, and it may take some pull yourself up by your bootstraps and go out to dinner. You may be wasted.
Yeah.
We had happy hour with your wife.
Yeah,
the
oh,
other day,
that
and you were
was
fucking in the bathtub
right.
'cause
That
you're
was right about the
tired
time
and
she
cold.
gave me the look about the joke. And I'm serious. And it was
Really?
right at that time, and I went, yeah,
Cross the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
you should.
buddy of mine once said,
come
"Do
out.
not sit down. You come home from your ride, go straight into the shower, come back out,
Like,
get
what's going
changed,
on?
and go to what you need to do."
Yep.
I fell asleep during Finding Nemo with you in a movie theater because of that. Because I was like, I got to take my kid to a movie after this. And that's the day the guy said, do not sit down when you get home. Just go straight in the shower, get dressed, go to the movie with your kid. So anyway, quiz time. We're gonna finish with some rapid fire fun about a Valentine's Day quiz. Okay, brought to you by our friends at Athletic Brewing. Use the link, grab some non-alcoholic brews, and enjoy. Trust me, great stuff. Use the link at packfiller.com. So let's see how well you guys know your partner, shall we? We have no way of actually checking these answers, so we're going to have to go on honor code here. We're going to have to go on honor code here, okay? So this has got to be fast, okay? So
I'm not going to ask the color of her eyes because I don't know.
No, first question. First question.
I know,
first
right?
question. I'll go first. Your partner's birthday, September 14th. Jackson.
June 3rd.
June 3rd. Jack.
9/18/72. And you know why I know that?
September 18th. Our,
You know why I know this?
Our wives are 4 days apart.
No, really.
Yeah.
You know why I know this?
Why?
Because 9
Yeah.
is the month.
18 is double that?
1 and 8 is 9. And 72, 7 and 2 is
Well,
9.
9 and 9 is 18 also. Did
But-
you ever think about that?
Yeah.
Wow, we are unlocking things in this man's brain right now.
That is how. That is exactly how I remember it.
Paul, birthday.
January 6th.
And
Okay.
we gave him so
Epiphany.
much time.
January 2nd.
Oh.
January
Yeah.
6th. Okay. Your partner's favorite pastime. Mine is definitely 1000% home decorating. Jackson.
She really likes to cook or
Likes to
bake.
cook.
Lately?
Yeah.
Decorating houses.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Paul.
Knitting.
Knitting.
In fact, I'm wearing some
Oh,
socks right now.
Nice.
Hey, can we buy some socks
Those
from
are
your
cool.
wife?
man.
No,
Those are cool.
She doesn't do anything.
Nothing
like that.
can
Yeah,
for other
she has to
people.
be
She
inspired.
was doing
Yeah.
it.
She knits all the time. Her hands, like on planes, travel, always. She's always knitting.
Your partner's greatest fear.
Ooh. easy.
My partner's
Height.
greatest fear is illness. She's got a not hypochondriasis, but she fears cancers or like those types of things. That's what scares her. Jackson.
Failure.
Failure.
Mm.
Jack.
Height for sure. And spiders.
Height.
Height. She can't fucking ladder like
Oh,
two
fear of
steps
heights.
Yeah, yeah.
I was
yeah.
like, she's scared of tall
Scared of
people.
tall
I have to slouch. when
Slouch,
I'm
you
around her.
motherfucker! You're freaking me out. Paul.
It used to be heights.
Okay.
But she made it to the top of the Eiffel Tower, so she's kind of
Nice.
still
Over
doesn't
that.
like it. But I would say, as we get older, she does not want me to die before her. That's
Oh,
one
okay.
thing. Yeah.
Okay.
That's like a big panic. So
Wow.
yeah.
And you're a cyclist.
Yeah, I know. That's that's the thing.
Yeah. Have a good ride.
Yeah.
No icy days.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're playing along with us, you should be playing along with us. The favorite food or dinner item. My wife's favorite food is cheese. 1000%.
Ooh, see, hers switches. So it used to be the sausage pepper pasta. Now it's the Trader Joe's. If you're looking for something good, head on over to your local Trader Joe's and find these Greek cheese wheels. They're bread.
Those are dangerous.
Oh
Yep.
yeah. So
Those are
we had
dangerous,
one
yeah.
here.
We did.
Yeah.
They're not cheese, but they are
Yeah.
bread.
Yeah.
You can pick it
Yeah.
up if you could
It's
put a
amazing.
stick on it and eat it like one of those swirly lollipops.
It's really
They're
good.
dangerous. Jack, favorite food and or dinner?
Steaks.
Steaks. Wow. Well, good. Woo. Paul.
My wife's changed it all the time, but
Yeah.
you could be safe by saying a good fish and chips.
Really?
Nice fish and chips.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cheese was a good one though.
Yeah,
yes
cheese
or no?
is good.
Yes or no? Can your wife name 10 current cyclists? I'm gonna say 1000% yes. Jackson.
Probably.
It's not a test. I mean, it's not bad if they
Yeah.
can.
Yeah. I think maybe.
Yeah.
I'd say no. She'd go into the archives.
She'd go old school.
She'd
She'd go
start
old
where
school.
she started.
Oh, I fucked that question up because I don't know if my wife could name current. She would go into the archives also.
She'd just start with Eddie.
Yeah.
I wanna say
That's a great
Lance,
point. Yeah.
But
Paul,
yeah.
I would say no either. Even in the
she
archives.
couldn't even
yeah.
do old school.
Yeah,
Really?
she'd probably Jan, Lance.
Okay.
That's
Eddie.
about it. No, she
No?
probably doesn't even know who he is.
Do you watch races together? Yes or no? I'm going to say it depends on the race. She does watch with me quite a few races throughout the year.
Not really. She likes women's racing.
Does she? Yeah. Jack?
100% yes.
Yes.
And men's racing. Yeah.
Absolutely not. But when she was at Paris-Roubaix in 2013, she thought it was great.
Oh, yeah.
But she wouldn't go again. Yeah.
If you bought her something for Valentine's Day, what would it be? Mine would
Cycling?
No, it doesn't have to be cycling based. Mine is my wife. She knows that I think Valentine's Day is kind of bullshit, but I always buy her flowers. I buy her flowers throughout the year, and she did buy me a really cool leather couch that's going to go right there.
Oh wow!
Eventually, and I'm fucked because I'm going to buy her flowers, which means I'm deeper in the fucking hole. Jackson,
I got a solution. Just buy her a leather couch. Boom, it's equal. Then you can't be mad.
Where am I going to put a leather couch?
Upstairs.
She wouldn't. No, my God, the leather couch she wanted would be more than this bar.
Doesn't matter where you put it. As long as you get the
Doesn't
exact
matter how
same
much it
thing, you don't have to feel bad.
You'd be ahead. If it costs more, you'd be ahead.
Who would have known? We picked the same gift.
Yeah, what are the chances? No, she flipped the iPad around and said, "Look what I'm buying, you fucker."
I would probably get her a nice weekend away.
That's a good call.
Yeah, I think she'd really like that.
Jack?
Used to be running shoes, but now it's plants, house plants.
Yeah. Paul?
Well, as you know, we don't buy each other birthday gifts, Christmas gifts.
You're Jehovah's
Valentine's,
Witness?
Nothing.
Oh.
No, we don't buy gifts because
way.
we spend it all on our European trips.
Yeah.
That's what it'd be.
I do know something you're doing with her on Valentine's Day. Though.
Yeah, that's because there's an anniversary involved on
very
that one.
significant.
And we all do that on Valentine's
Wife's
Day.
beverage of choice.
easy over
Wife's beverage or significant other's beverage of choice. Mine is 1,000% wine.
Probably
Minus
wine.
wine?
My wife's is wine.
Oh, yeah, that's mine
my
too.
significant other's is
Probably wine. Yeah.
Wine.
Red wine.
red wine.
Red
Okay,
wine.
Yours yours is red wine.
Not mine.
No, yours.
Hers.
yours-
Hers. I would say,
Really?
or not red wine, but just like she really likes wine lately.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. If you could take them anywhere, where would it be? Right now, my significant other's trip would be back to Hawaii. She is big on Hawaii right now.
Either New York or London.
Ooh. Okay.
We're going to Hawaii, but she would love to go to the tour. Love it. She would fucking 1,000% go to the tour. We
That's
looked
a
up
winner.
pricing. We looked up all the pricing on the tours and all that stuff.
That's good.
Yep.
Paul?
Either Scotland or Yorkshire.
Scotland.
She loves that area.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Your significant other's favorite TV show. Mine is anything on the HGTV network. She loves that network.
Yeah.
We're talking currently or ever?
Currently. See, how well do you know your
Well,
significant
she really likes Gilmore Girls, even though she's seen it. She's seen it so many times she can quote it, but it's a comfort show. You come back to it because it's comfortable.
Yep. Like Seinfeld.
other? Yeah. Jack?
Grey's Anatomy, 100%.
Really?
Wow.
Wow.
She's
Paul?
All Creatures Great and Small.
Oh, my God.
She loves, like I said, she's a Brit-lit person, so anything British. she
Musician or band? Mine is 1,000% the Avett Brothers.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Oh, my God.
This is
I
rapid
try
fire.
to
Jack.
influence
Rapid
her
fire.
all the time.
Rapid fire.
Tom Petty, for sure.
Tom Petty.
Yep.
God, I'm trying to think of his name now. He's British.
Old school?
Ozzy
Old
Osbourne?
school. No.
Phil Collins.
No. It'll come back.
Julio Iglesias. He's not
No,
British.
he's not.
Yeah.
Not even.
All right, when he comes up to you,
Not even
scream it
close.
out.
I will.
Middle
Van
name.
Morrison.
Van
Van
Morrison.
Morrison.
Middle
Van
name. Your significant other's middle name. Mine is Lynn.
Kellyanne.
Jack.
Star with 2 R's.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Paul.
Sabina.
We all know it. We all know him. That's good. Would they ride a tandem with you? Yes, no, or hell no? Mine would hell yes, actually. Jax.
Is there a further option after hell no?
Is there really? Okay.
If so, there it is.
So hell no. Jack?
Definitely.
definitely.
Yeah.
Paul?
Not after the last time. Nope.
The final question of our speed round is, what is the one thing that drives them crazy about you, that pisses them off about you? Mine recently is my uninterest of leaving home. I don't like going out.
Oh my God.
I really don't.
I could
and
tell last
she
Sunday.
does
You're
not.
fucking...
She is not a fan. Yeah, Jackson.
It's COVID.
Deadbeat.
Yeah, or inability to blow blow the fucking driveway.
right. Yeah.
Jackson.
I think. Let's see.
What's your most annoying trait?
Yeah, what?
I don't have one. I'm perfect.
that
no.
could be it.
Probably my lack of planning for anything.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm a last minute type of guy.
okay. Jack.
If I sneeze more than twice.
Wow.
Six times, she's ready to track me down. Like, I have to run around the house to stay away from her. She's going to fucking kill me. Yep.
Wow.
She hates it.
What do you run outside and bury yourself?
She's like, what are you, full? Are you full? Bless you for the 13th time. And I'll like fucking sneeze. I got my dad sneeze.
I do too.
Oh, fuck.
I get to the point. My
I
dad.
could blow
My
the
dad
house down.
sneezes. Sounds like this. It goes.
Don't do it.
I'm right, Jackson.
It
Yeah.
does.
Okay, that's
And then he
not-
does it like 19 times.
Oh.
And I was like, my God, that's fucked up. And then I find myself doing it. And after like the fourth time, I look at my wife and say, don't say bless you anymore. I got you. You're good.
I shout sneeze.
Really?
I'm like,
yeah,
it's-
me too. I holler.
Oh fuck!
Yeah,
I could.
I'm a
I could.
holler.
You go
I could wake
sneeze?
up the
Yeah.
naked. I could wake up the neighbors.
Yeah, same.
Oh yeah.
What is it?
I make the
absurd?
piano, and
I
we used
don't
to have
know.
a piano in the house, and it used to go boom after I sneeze.
See, you said you go sneeze, and my mind
I'm
immediately went.
serious.
I thought he said like his sneezes sound like him saying sneeze.
Instead of going at you, it's just
Oh,
sneeze, sneeze, sneeze.
sneeze. I did too.
Come on, you're too literal.
Okay, Paul.
Mine is I always get in trouble, and I got in trouble just the other day at this. I can't go anywhere without running into somebody I know.
Oh, I
And
get that too.
then
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go grab a bottle of wine. I'll be right back. And it's a half
And
hour
a half
later.
hour conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one thing.
You're
I
too
always
pleasant.
do that.
You're too pleasant.
No, because I find other people kind of interesting.
Well,
I
you've been
wanna
here
know.
your whole life.
What?
Oh, I'll talk to anybody.
Yeah. Well,
I'll fucking talk to. Seriously, I'll be standing in the grocery line and I'll have a 5-minute conversation with somebody I don't even know.
yeah. Well, no, I don't
And
go
Super
that
One
far.
is awesome.
Jack,
I love Super
Jack,
One.
I'm not going to lie to you. A little thing about Sunday in the back of my mind was I knew that my wife was going to go out and have a beer with you, but I knew it was going to be a 4-hour deal.
And she's like, I gotta go shopping.
I'm like, I'm fucking freezing.
Yeah,
I came
she
home from
said
a
that.
ride. I want a nap.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hang out in a
hang
bar
out with
for
Jack.
4 hours. No, I wanted to hang out with Jack. I love you, Jack. But 4 hours would have been just like,
we were at the bar.
how
would've
much
loved that.
longer are we going to
I
talk
would have
about?
been right there. I would have been comfortable.
How
We
much
were at the
longer are we
bar
going to
for
talk about
40
tile
minutes.
choices?
40 minutes, then we went to the job. And
Yeah.
that's why she was gone for 4 hours.
All right.
And shopping. She had to go to Super One.
I
She
barely
did.
even talk to my coworkers.
You
So
don't?
I don't
I don't
talk to
either.
anyone.
Oh, fuck.
I don't either, Jack.
I'll talk
Yeah.
to,
I don't
I'll
either.
talk to anybody.
I might have given that to you.
Random people.
It's just like, I don't like.
Do you dodge? Do you two dodge somebody, even if you like them? You're like, oh God,
Yeah.
I don't want to. So
Yeah.
you'll
Yeah.
go down the.
Here's a little.
I've caught you a few times at Super One, running down the aisle.
Oh, I'm not.
Run away
I don't.
from
I've
Paul.
never left
Run
you.
away from Paul.
Just
No,
kidding.
I would never leave you. There are
You shop
times
at
I've.
Super One?
Shit. There's.
He dives down aisle
Do you
5.
shop at Super One?
Yeah, occasionally. Yeah.
I'll see you there.
Yeah.
I'm shopping there all the
Yeah,
time.
we'll
now.
never get out of that store.
Yeah,
yeah.
I shop
you
there
know
all
the
the time. I
checkers
just don't
names?
talk to them.
No, I don't. I know the checkers names down at Rosar's by
Oh,
my
okay.
house.
All right.
I'm sorry. We're back.
I don't dodge. I wouldn't dodge you guys, but I would. There are people who I'm like, oh.
The only time I dodge is because I got in
Names.
trouble yesterday for doing the same thing I'm
Really?
just about to do.
Oh.
So,
Or I went to high school with that guy. I don't want to talk to that guy.
yeah, I like even the
Or-
people I don't like.
Or there's somebody who my parents know, and
I
I don't want to
dated that
fucking talk
girl.
about that. I don't like small talk. I fucking hate small talk.
I see that
Yeah,
dating
this
somebody.
is the guy who does interviews
Yeah,
on a
small talk.
podcast, but with an interview, at least there's an agenda. Sometimes you walk up to somebody, it's like, so
Yeah, but you're in
Hi.
control, right? You can't
Yeah.
control a conversation when you just meet someone.
Microphones and headphones. That
Yeah.
makes it even better.
See, I think okay, we're getting into it now.
Yeah.
I think small
Whole
talk
new
is-
podcast.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
small talk is pointless because ultimately
is.
neither of you
It's bullshit.
it's going to end soon. So why don't you just not say anything?
No.
I just
No,
see
you're
this
wrong.
is though. I just
You're
sit
wrong.
there at work and I'm
It's foreplay to a better conversation.
I agree.
That I will
agree
never
with Paul.
have.
Yeah.
I stop that.
yeah. No.
I agree with Paul because somebody that you start with small talk, you may have a very enriching conversation with.
Absolutely.
And
It's
I'm
foreplay for a
down.
conversation.
I'm down.
What are you doing, you moron?
yeah.
We're not convincing either one of them.
Foreplay for a
It
conversation.
is that's a perfect.
I
Is
don't
there
wanna
an
have.
orgasm for a conversation?
Sometimes
Really?
they have some really good
just never
conversations.
know.
God,
I
then I'm
learned things about
22
people.
years old and blocked up because I'm never going to have that.
Wow.
You just go home and talk to yourself in the bathroom, I
Yeah.
guess, or something.
I don't even.
That's
all
what my cat's for.
I don't even like riding. I'm bringing it back to cycling. I don't even like riding with complete strangers. I've like if a cyclist is going the same direction as me, and there's a cyclist in Spokane who was doing that with me, and I'm going to apologize to that person now. I don't remember his name, but I eventually, honestly, made an excuse to turn. Because I didn't want to small talk with that person anymore because I feel uncomfortable. It had nothing to do with the guy. He was being incredibly nice. He was gracious. He was asking questions. We
you
were
remember
talking
his
about
name?
stuff. No. But
I
we
have
were.
the exact same story.
He now follows me on Strava, and I follow him
Perfect.
on Strava, and it was just like I don't want to keep riding and talk. I just want to ride. I don't want to be side by side with you because I don't know you. And I just want to go. I have to go this way because I'm doing extra miles. I lied to this person.
So you guys know the 7 Mile Bridge.
We are going off on a tangent.
to Downriver, right? I caught a guy last winter right at the turnaround. He was
Turnaround,
coming
yeah.
across at the bridge or something, and I rode with him from literally the 7 Mile Bridge to the Downriver,
you.
and we talked the entire time. I knew so much about
Yeah, I
him.
know, it's cool.
And I felt bad. That
At any
I was
point
turning
did
off.
he say, "Well, I gotta," and you just kept
gonna
going?
ride back to Coeur d'Alene with him. I
Uh-huh.
was literally like, he actually rode from Coeur d'Alene out there and back.
On the
I
trail.
felt obligated.
Yeah.
I felt obligated to ride
That's
with
fucked
him.
up.
That's why on a
I
ride.
felt bad leaving him.
That's fucked up.
See, if I'm a solo on a ride, I will see a cyclist and sprint past them
You'll
because I don't want them to join me.
Me too.
I will look and I'll be like, look how fast I am. And I'll,
This is
I'm
the-
going to put it out there.
This
for all
is the curse
Spokane
I've given
people.
to you, Jackson. This
Yeah,
is the
wow.
curse I've given you, and I apologize.
I'm going to
because-
put it out there, all Spokane cyclists. If you see Jackson
No.
or Pat, right up to him. Even a big
Yeah.
group, just consume them and
Oh, yeah.
trap them and make them talk.
Yep. Yep.
see, but then I'll
It's
try
like
and
a
drop
hug.
them.
It's
That's
like
my thing.
it's an uncomfortable hug. I'm gonna start
Yeah, it
hugging
is.
you. I'm gonna start hugging you and you.
Don't.
You know what?
Not until
Yeah, don't
COVID's
hug
gone.
me.
Don't
I can
fucking
tell
hug
you
me
guys
until
don't like
COVID's gone.
hugs.
I'll kiss you
I'm
right on the
not
mouth
a
right
hug
now.
guy.
Let's do it.
Square on. Happy Valentine's Day, motherfucker.
I'll get rid of all the hugs.
Oh my god. Killing all the hugs.
All right, we are an hour and 33 minutes into a podcast, which I think we could have probably made a 4-hour podcast. But you guys, I think the takeaway from this is don't be a selfish prick all the time. If you're a bike racer and you have a pro contract and it's your job, then you can talk about it. But if not, push the bike into the corner every so often, don't you think? Don't you think? Or go for a ride with your spouse, or just
Pay attention to your wife.
yeah.
My bike will always be there.
Oh, amen. Like, subscribe, and we'll talk to you next week.